O'Mara. O'Mara, of course, last week at the Trophy of the Nations had two marvellous starts where he led the pack in both races for 2, maybe 3 laps. But as you may have noticed at the start of this race, he was right at the very back of the field.
Yeah, I think we did say it'd be interesting to see now just how quickly he does come to the field, and by all intents and purposes, he's really beginning to screw that throttle back to the stop. Get where he is at the moment.
Well, they're all out to get up into the top places. Magoo is out in the lead still. There's Bailey going through. Bailey is, I'd say, in about 6th spot at the moment, behind Lequay.
But Magoo is so consistent, so stylish, so cool under pressure. He never seems to put a foot wrong. I remember somebody saying to me once, if he stops on the machine, he could possibly win. Over the last couple of races we've seen, there's no reason to doubt that at all.
Well, the way that we've seen Magoo ride these last week at the Trophy of the Nations and here today in the first in the Motocross of the Nations, there's not really anybody. Whoop, so look at that.
That's the sort of thing, just a little bit of overindulgence, and 2 men drop it, spoiling the race for the next one, which is Dolce going through there.
Dolce, and it's his teammate Giuseppe Gasparoni that did the damage.
Rather a nice mouthful there, especially with a mouthful of Coca-Cola, Keith.
Yes. That with Thorpe though. Thorpe followed by
Romans, is it?
Romans, Everts. No, Lequay.
Lequay's going though. He's really beginning to push through the field.
And there's Joe Bay. Watley though, very well placed. 53 Franco Pico. He's moved through the field well. So, and there's Hudson through.
I'll tell you what. I reckon it's getting a little bit demanding out there now, because the heat, I would imagine, is perhaps a little bit getting to them now. And with a few stones flying about, you know, they must be a little bit tense as well. So I think I'm beginning to feel the pace a little bit now, Keith.
Well, they're definitely not strung out as much as they were, I'd say, as the Trophy of the Nations, like as we saw last week. Back with Dolce, though, he's really going strong
this
today.
afternoon, yeah. Not being disrespectful to the lad, but a little bit of a surprise packet this afternoon, Keith. There's a few fists going now, urging their respective riders on.
Yeah, that was Kees van der Ven on the KTM.
Was it?
Going through, yeah, the 250 rider this year, but of course today on the 500, and doing quite well. Yeah. So Romans is through, yeah, so Romans is in 2nd, and Thorpe is down to 3rd.
So what's Dave doing wrong, do you think?
So, well, it may be what you said, Barry, about a little bit of heat might be telling on them. You can't really tell.
Of course, it could be the damping. We may have a little bit of problem with the damping. I'm not going to say the Kawasaki's prone to that, but I noticed before, towards the end of the race, the damping does seem to slow him down a little bit.
Well, we did see the Kawasaki break in half at Luxembourg.
Yes, it wasn't a very good sign.
There's Watley chasing Joe Bay, but Joe Bay, as we keep saying, is a lap down. Franco Pico chased there by Neil Hudson.
Yes, Neil's having
and
a
Neil
bit
Hudson
of a
there being chased by Jim Gibson.
The photographer's got a good view on the inside of the track, a little bit dangerous, I thought.
Yeah, very spectacular though, very spectacular.
A little bit near the action, that lad there. Obviously he's got not a lot of respect for his lens, I wouldn't have thought.
And look, there's another one down. Looks like Connie Carlson. Is it well, there's Dolce really powering on again.
That's right, he hasn't lost a lot over it though.
No, but back with Magoo. Magoo into the bomb hole.
Mr. Chandler, of course.
Chased by Romans. Romans seems to have caught him up a little bit there.
Dave.
Dave thought being dropped slightly, but still holding 3rd from Everts in 4th.
Everts is beginning to use it a little bit, getting that Suzuki really on full steam now, Keith.
Yeah, there's Bailey. Bailey through with Lequay just slightly in front of him. Joe Bay through. There's Watley on the Suzuki. We should be looking now for Hudson. And there is Hudson, yeah.
Now, that little bit of a divot there they're knocking out, the front wheel's beginning to get well dug in there, so got to be careful they don't get too silly.
Well, Gibson just behind Pico. .31, there's Bruno through.
It's a nice little jump into that bomb hole, and then straight back into the ruts there. It was watch Dave Thorpe drop down.
That's it.
Whack open the power, and off he goes over the crest.
The camera angle doesn't really show how steep that really is. It really is a bomb hole.
You've got to be a spectator down in the hollow to appreciate just how steep it is, Keith.
Yeah. There's LeQuay being pushed all the way by Bailey, and Bailey, no message, straight into that hole and out again.
As though it just does not exist.
Yeah. As does Watley. Watley straight in. Hudson straight in. Just no shutting off or anything.
That's
It's
right.
straight in and straight out. Pico goes through.
It's not what you would say the men from the boys, because they're all men here this afternoon.
Yeah.
So it's,
There's Bruno. O'Mara has really done well to pull up into the top 15, 20 places.
he's really poured himself. There was suspension work and overtime on the Honda there.
But look at the gap now that's been pulled out between Roman's a second man there,
He certainly didn't lose anything by going on the inside line, Keith.
and there
It's Dave,
is Dave Thorpe in third.
big Berkshire bomber.
We're looking now for Everts to come through. 28, that's Gerrit Walsing, but I think he's a lap down now. But look at the gap now that's
Opened up.
between Thorpe and Everts. Everts being dropped a mile.
It's not like Everts to be dropped.
30
as much
Patrick
as that.
Fiora going through. It's Bailey's through is in next.
So the Americans beginning to come back into the racing again.
54 Giuseppe Andriani goes through. There's Watley. Watley should be followed by Hudson. And there is Hudson.
There's Neil.
So we've got 3 British riders up in contention, as have the Belgians and the Americans. So it's going to be really tight. We're not going to see the Americans running away with this one anyway.
Is Neil Hudson on the 83 Yamaha this year? Well, already I should say. Is Neil?
No, he's on the 82 Works Yamaha that he's done all the World Championship rounds with this year. Coming now towards the end of the race, and lap boards being shown to all the riders to come on, you've got to get
That's
that next
right.
man,
Getting rather excitable
because
now.
it's points that count. Look how the Americans are going quite frantic now to get Bailey up into a higher position.
Amongst the fray, that's right, the leading contenders. I see the Italian flag there on the crest of the hill.
There's Hudson going through. I think with only 1 or 2 laps to go,
We're going to close up a little bit now.
yeah, Dave Arnold there on the left, the American team manager, trying to urge all his riders on. There's O'Mara being pushed all the way.
They're enjoying it anyway in the Swiss sun this afternoon, really enjoying it.
I think that they're Italian. Well, they're not Italian team managers, but
Well, looks like she's doing a bit of a circus act there, Keith.
well, that was Giuseppe Gasparoni who crashed earlier, going through. Could well have been his wife that was cheering him on.
Well, I hope for his sake it is.
There we see 1 lap from the American board.
You were very
As
quick
ba-
there, Keith, the US of A. You were very quick there.
Oh, it was
I
very
don't
quick.
expect
Yeah.
that.
10 out of 10 for observation.
Was that what Watley went through then? Just missed the actually flying at this stage, so it's very difficult to pick up the some of the riders from behind. The Honda camp there looking on anxiously.
Yeah, very anxious. There's not very many spoils there, is there, apart from that young lady at the back?
Who knows what she's crying about, I wonder.
There she is. Ale, ale, oh!
Yeah, I think she's rather excitable.
Yeah, I think she wanted him to go a bit quicker.
She's very attractive.
And looks like the checkered flag, yeah, and it's got to be Magoo. Unless he's fallen off with 100 yards. No, there's Magoo.
Punching his fists in
So-
the air.
Magoo wins yet again. And we should be looking for Vrooman's second, Vrooman's is second, Thorpe comes in third.
So Dave's not disgraced himself, Keith?
No, marvellous ride, really. And such good company, really. Bailey through, being clapped in by all his supporters. There, Watley and Hudson, the two British lads coming in together.
So they've not rode bad at all this afternoon. They've really got the English crowd on the feet, I would imagine, with some superb racing.
There are a few British supporters here, but of course Switzerland is
fair all right.
It is quite a drive. And we also have seen quite a few American supporters. So whether they've come over as family or may even have been from the German bases, not that far away. Bit of entertainment at half-time.
Pretty spectacular as well, Keith.
Very spectacular. So here we have the results anyway. First, Danny Chandler. Second, Andre Vrooman's. Third, David Thorpe. Fourth, David Bailey, USA. Harry Everts in fifth. LaQuay sixth. Seventh, Jeremy Watley. And eighth, Neil Hudson. So we've got 3 Belgians, 3 British riders and 2 Americans in the top 8.
Remember, that was Heat 1, so we look forward with a lot of excitement, I